The price is hidden from the man who pays it and visible to the man who counts the cost. To give in to lust is to trade your birthright for a moment of pleasure that leaves you poorer than you were before you tasted it. You are not just choosing what to look at today. You are deciding what kind of man you will become tomorrow, and tomorrow's man is being forged in today's choices. That is no small transaction. Most men today have been so blinded by instant gratification that they can't see the compound interest of compromise. They think lust is a victimless crime, a private struggle, a harmless release. They don't realize they're not just viewing images or indulging fantasies. They're selling pieces of their soul to a merchant who never gives change back. Look who pays the highest price. Not the man who never struggles, but the man who keeps paying without counting the cost. Every compromise is a withdrawal from an account you can't see but desperately need. Every moment you feed lust, you starve something sacred. Your ability to love purely, to see women as daughters instead of objects, to connect intimately instead of just physically. The culture will tell you it's natural, normal, healthy even, that every man struggles, so you shouldn't feel guilt about your chains. Don't let that silence the alarm bells in your spirit. That's exactly what they told Esau about his hunger before he sold his birthright for soup. That's what they whispered to Solomon about his desires before his heart turned away from God. You were not created to be enslaved. You were created to be free. Most men don't even realize they're being robbed in broad daylight. They think lust only takes minutes from their day, but it's stealing years from their destiny. It doesn't just corrupt their thoughts. It rewires their capacity for real intimacy. It doesn't just affect their private moments. It poisons their ability to honor the women in their lives. It doesn't just compromise their purity. It clouds their ability to hear God's voice clearly. The price of lust is not paid in money, but in manhood. Every time you choose the artificial over the authentic, you trade a piece of your ability to bond deeply with your future wife or current spouse. Every moment you spend feeding your flesh, you weaken your spirit's capacity to lead, to protect, to provide the emotional and spiritual strength your family needs. Lust promises freedom, but delivers slavery. It promises satisfaction, but creates an appetite that grows hungrier with every feeding. It promises connection, but builds walls between you and every person you're called to love. The man in bondage to lust cannot fully love his wife because part of his heart has been scattered across 1,000 images. He cannot raise daughters with confidence because he knows the predatory thoughts that lurk in men's minds. He cannot lead with authority because he serves a master that mocks his hypocrisy. Count the cost before you click, before you look, before you linger. That momentary pleasure will be paid for with sleepless nights of guilt, weakened prayers that feel like they bounce off the ceiling, and a growing distance from the God who created you for so much more. God desires to give you a heart that beats with pure desire, eyes that see his daughters as sacred, and hands that build instead of tear down. But he cannot fill vessels that are cracked with compromise. He cannot trust treasures to men who trade gold for fool's brass. When they tell you everyone struggles so you shouldn't feel shame, remember Joseph, who ran from Potiphar's wife even when no one was watching. When they say it's impossible to live purely in this generation, remember Daniel, who purposed in his heart not to defile himself even in Babylon. When they mock you for guarding your eyes, remember David's warning about the consequences of looking where he shouldn't have looked. Your purity is not just personal preference, it's spiritual warfare. Your choices don't just affect your future, they shape the spiritual atmosphere around everyone you influence. Look at your hands. Those hands were designed to build kingdoms, create beauty, provide for families, and lift others up. Are you using them to tear down your own foundations? That mind was crafted to commune with the Creator, solve problems, and lead with wisdom. Are you filling it with images that corrupt your ability to think clearly? Time is running short, and every moment you spend in bondage to lust is a moment stolen from the destiny God wants to give you. Let that truth not crush you with condemnation, but ignite you with the possibility of freedom. The price has been counted. The cost is too high. The merchant is waiting for your decision. What will you choose?